this is just a general rule. If you want to lead, always be ready to lead, right? Be ready to step up. Make sure you're not stepping on people's toes, as always, but be ready to lead. And the way you do that is you think about what you do in certain situations. You should always be thinking about that. You should be thinking, even if you're a trooper or a follower in a certain situation, you should think, okay, well, how would I lead? What would I do right now? What moves would I make? What would I do if a contingency happened right now? And what are the possible contingencies that I could be looking at? What are they? And if you're thinking that as a frontline guy, when the opportunity pops up, then just jump on it. Boom. There you go.
Well, there's something that I invented a long time ago. And when you have nothing to draw from, I was able to find strength in every molecule of this earth. I'm able to be in a room with nothing, with no motivation, no inspiration, nothing, and find it. So what I did in those situations was I invented this thing called taking souls. When everybody's off and you're exhausted and you're weak and you're tired and you're looking around and everybody looks as bad as you or even worse, I'm like, you know what? I want to now make a statement. It's the perfect time to make a statement. To let you know where your life ends and mine begins. And so the statement there is, I muster up every bit of strength from their looks on their faces and how they feel, and how I'm going to now, from my childhood, where I came from, how I was the bottom of the barrel, I'm now amongst all these uncommon people. I'm now going to now make you feel like you're common. So I used their sadness, their weakness, their parts of their life where, God, this sucks. I'm like all poopy pants and messed up. I used that for my strength.
Then when it does happen, of course, you got to stay detached, because you want to make sure that you don't lead too far. You don't overstep your bounds and step on toes. So you got to be careful of that. So you need to live with that mindset. And that will make you such a better leader when the moment does come, if you're always thinking about it.
So I'm really good at creating an enemy. I'm really good at creating something that I'm against. And I'm also good at, if you ever tell me something that I cannot do, I'm going to let you know that I'm doing it. Right. Somehow you're going to know one way or another that I'm doing it. It may not be like in your face. I may make sure that I run across the daggone world. So then it's on the news, and you turn the news on and say, how the hell
did he do that?
I want to do something that, you know, I'm here. I'm here. So every time I lose like a big significant amount of weight, I call that recruiter up and say, hey man, I'm here.
Like he talked about earlier, I'm watching the leader. I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing what I might do differently. I'm still supporting them. I'm supporting you. If you're in charge, I'm supporting you, but I'm thinking, I might do this. And then you watch what would the results of my decision have been compared to what they did. So you can be thinking like a leader, even though you might not necessarily be in a leadership position. So live with that mindset. That's what you need to do.
Well, that's what I realized for myself, was I wanted that comfort zone that everybody looks for, that pat on the back. They don't want to hear all the bad shit. They want to hear everything that they're doing right. And I realized that's what kept me in this world. That's what kept me in this world of not accomplishing anything. So what I did was I became that big, bad, nasty that you don't want to walk into at nighttime. I became the roughest critic in the world on myself. And that's what changed me. I literally saw myself in the mirror. I saw the truth versus saying, you know, my dad did this to me from beating me. Kids in school from calling me nigger did this to me. My life did this to me. My broken foundation did this to me. I took that and said, you know what? Well, some people may help this happen, but now I have to own this. No one's going to come back to save me. No one's going to come back on the couch and say, hey, it's okay. You're going to be okay. No, I'm not. I'm not going to be okay. I had to realize I had to take a stand. I had to make a real stand. And it was painful to look at who I was, what the world and myself created. It created a very lonely, depressed, insecure man that would do anything just to have a friend. And I saw that as very pathetic. when you look at the truth, it becomes very ugly and pathetic.
Now, as far as you passing up the opportunity to lead, which, yes, you're admitting was an error. First of all, I'll say this. It's probably not quite as obvious to everyone else as it is to you. In your mind, you're thinking, oh, man, I blew it. This was my chance. And no, I bet the guys went back from that call and didn't even think about it. Yeah. Didn't even think about it again. Mm-hmm. Most likely, unless it was just some flagrant, I don't want to lead. I'm not ready. If you did that, well, then, yeah, people are going to. But if you just said, if you just kind of backed away from a moment, and people might have realized it. But anyways, regardless of that, you probably guess what I'm going to say. Then what you got to do is own it.
So it was a big process. So that 3 months was packed full of like failures, depression, even more. But what I found out in that whole 3 months, I lived a lifetime. In that 3 months, I started realizing if I can flip these insecurities upside down, if I can flip this fear, if I can flip all this shit that made me this depressed, insecure guy, if I can flip it and make it work for me versus against me, I started seeing the power in failure, the power in insecurity, the power in self-doubt. Because I looked at everybody, it may not be true, but that's how I looked at everybody as being way above me. I thought to myself, if I can be at the lowest part in the world, in the sewer, and be able to overcome all this, I started using that as power. And I slowly started passing the guys from Harvard, the guys from MIT, the guys who were from great families and shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm catching up. I had nothing. So I started flipping it and using it as power.
So when the opportunity presents itself to explain what happened and what went wrong and what you did wrong, right? Not making excuses, but explain where you were weak, so you say, hey guys, hey, remember that last call? I should have stepped up, and I had the wrong mindset. I wasn't ready to lead, and not only did I let you guys down, I let myself down. And I'm not going to let that happen again. From now on, I'm going to have leadership in the front of my mind. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, I understand it. It's a miserable place. I can, now that I'm going there, now you have me. I'm living on that couch right now with a milkshake in my hand, thinking about how the am I going to pull this off.
I'm going to be thinking about what needs to get done. I'm going to be thinking about contingencies and how I'm going to lead. And I promise the next time this opportunity comes up, I'm going to be ready to lead. So I'm sorry for letting you guys down. It won't happen again. Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Get the mindset. Live and think as a leader, regardless of what position you're actually in. And then when they call you and the opportunity presents itself, step up and lead. So, me, I am weak. I am weak. But I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping and I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win. Some days I don't. But each and every day, I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle. And I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws. As I strive to be just a little bit better today. I hear that I'm over 40, I'm pushing 50, whatever. Bring it. Back off, negative. Not happening. In fact, I'm stepping it up. I'm training harder. Eating cleaner. I'm training more. I'm learning and reading and studying more now than I ever have in my whole life. Do I get dinged up? Of course I do. You know what? No factor. No factor. Deal with them. You know what? You know what I hear? I hear the clock ticking. That's what I hear. And the end is nigh, and time waits for no man. And you young guns out there, 18 years old, 20 years old, 24 years old, listen. Life goes by, and it goes by quick. Don't waste those years. Don't waste them. Live them. So I want to tell you something else, and I want to make this clear. Don't just listen. Don't just listen. Do. I'm not just talking. So you know, I'm not just talking. I'm doing. And I don't want you to just listen. Put this information to work. Make today count. Every day. Go forward. Get aggressive and attack, whether it's on the battlefield or on the beat or in the factory or on the farm or on the construction site or on the website. And get used to seeing how that reaction, what that adrenaline feels like, and also get used to understanding what the superior action is, right? Fight or flight. Because sometimes flight is the correct response. Sometimes fight is the correct response. But what you want to do is you want to be able to assess and dictate which response you're going to give and not just do whatever your instinct tells you, because sometimes your instinct might be wrong. And so, again, I don't know what the situation where you're going into, but whatever it is, because people get the fight or flight response to everyday things too, like public speaking, right?
Oh yeah,
rock climbing, and that's why I say, like, do these things. Step. That's how you step into bravery. Step. Take the step. Step aggressively toward your fear. And that step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions. So many questions. How do you get to the gym every day? You step. You go. How do you change your diet? You step. You go. How do you overcome fear of failure or fear of success or fear of fear itself? You step. And how do you face the fear of the unknown? You step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No, no, and no. I know that you don't think you're going to live to be 30, much less 40, but you are and you will. And the earlier you get in the game, the better life you're going to have. Healthier, wealthier, stronger, smarter, better. Better. And if you're an old man like me, and you haven't gotten on track yet, get on track. Get on it now. Here's the deal. No complacency. No complacency. No backing off. No slack whatsoever. Fight. Fight that ticking clock with everything you've got. So, like the end of a hard day, put your head down with ease. Satisfied. Than I was yesterday. Do not take the easy way out. Do not give up based on instinct. If you are forced to stand down, to retreat, so that you can rebuild and reattack, so be it. But make that decision based on logic, not on the instinct of surrender and defeat. And you need to train that instinct. Your instinct. Train it to say, get up. Go. Fight on.